All right, welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. Today, we're going to be tackling a pretty fascinating story, a story about achieving, well, what seems impossible. We've got a whole stack of articles and interviews all about this guy, Roman Saini.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of him.
He cracked one of the toughest exams, I think, on the planet, the Indian Civil Services exam.
The IAS?
Yeah, the IAS on his first try at just 22.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and he did all this while he was finishing med school.
It's actually even more impressive than it sounds.
Oh.
The IAS is, well, it's notoriously competitive.
Yeah.
And Roman, he didn't just scrape by. He ranked 18th out of all of India.
18th.
Yeah.
I can barely decide what I'm going to have for breakfast. And this guy's acing exams that have a success rate of, what, less than 1%?
Less than 0.01% to be precise. It's really remarkable.
So what's the big deal with this IAS exam anyway? Why is it such a sought-after thing in India?
Well, think of it as it's the gateway to kind of leading impactful change in India, a fast track to tackling these systemic problems, poverty, inequality, you name it.
Yeah.
And passing the IAS, it opens doors to these incredibly diverse and challenging roles across the country.
Wow.
Giving you the authority to make a real difference in millions of lives.
So Roman could have been a doctor, healing people one at a time, but he chose this path to address the root causes of those problems on a much larger scale.
Exactly. And what's really fascinating is that he's been incredibly open about his preparation process, sharing his strategies and insights online. And that's what we're going to dig into today, because there are some seriously surprising takeaways.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Before we get into Roman's secrets, though, let's clear up one thing. What exactly is this IAS exam? I'm picturing this grueling multi-day marathon of brain-bending questions.
You're not far off. It's a 3-stage exam process.
Okay.
It tests your knowledge across a vast range of subjects. History, geography, economics, you name it.
Yeah.
It also assesses your critical thinking skills, your problem-solving abilities, and even your personality through an interview stage.
Sounds intense. No wonder people think you need to be some kind of genius to even attempt it.
That's actually one of the myths that Roman debunks right off the bat.
Okay.
He says, you don't need a super high IQ to succeed.
Right.
An above-average intelligence combined with hard work and the right strategies are far more important.
That's encouraging, because I think a lot of people, get intimidated by these success stories and assume they need some superhuman brain power to achieve anything remarkable.
Yeah, that myth is definitely out there. I mean, you see someone like Roman who achieved this incredible feat at such a young age.
Yeah.
It's easy to feel like you could never measure up.
Right.
But Roman's story is all about, busting those myths and showing that success is within reach for anyone with the right mindset and approach.
So it's not about being born a genius. It's about cultivating the right habits and strategies.
Precisely. And Roman tackles a bunch of other myths too, like the idea that you need to isolate yourself from the world.
Oh, yeah.
And study 25 hours a day to prepare for the IAS.
Okay, I have definitely heard that one before, that you basically have to become a hermit to have any chance of success.
Roman completely disagrees. He advocates for a balanced approach.
Okay.
Consistent, focused study, yes, but also time for leisure, exercise, and a healthy social life.
Okay, so it's not all work and no play. That's refreshing. It's about sustainability, not self-destruction. I mean, here's a guy prepping for one of the world's toughest exams, and he's still emphasizing balance and well-being.
Exactly. It actually makes a lot of sense when you think about it. You can't perform at your best if you're constantly burnt out and stressed.
So, myth busted. You don't have to become a social recluse to crack the IAS. What other misconceptions does Roman tackle?
Another big one is the belief that you have to move to Delhi to prepare for the exam.
Oh, right. I've heard about those famous coaching centers in Delhi that everyone supposedly flocks to.
Right. So Roman acknowledges that, those centers can be helpful.
Yeah.
But he emphasizes that they're by no means essential. He himself leveraged online resources extensively.
So it's about resourcefulness and being proactive, not just following the crowd. I love that. Okay, give me another myth.
How about this one? You need to have dreamt of being an IAS officer since childhood to have any chance of success.
Oh, yeah, the whole predestined path idea. Like you were born for this one specific thing.
Yeah. Roman throws that one out the window, too. He didn't even know what the IAS was a few years before acing it.
Wow.
He says any strong motivation, no matter when it strikes, can fuel your dedication.
It's about finding your why and letting that drive you. Okay, I'm starting to see a pattern here. Roman's all about demystifying the IAS, making it feel attainable, even for those of us who aren't, medical geniuses.
Absolutely. He even addresses, those who feel disadvantaged because of their background. Maybe they didn't go to a top college, or they struggle with English, or they're facing financial constraints.
Those are some serious hurdles, though. Can he really say they don't matter?
He doesn't dismiss those challenges, but he emphasizes that they're not insurmountable.
Okay.
He himself struggled with English initially and improved with dedicated effort.
Right.
He stresses that your college background becomes irrelevant once you have your exam roll number.
Oh, interesting.
And he believes financial limitations can be overcome by leveraging free online resources and smart study techniques.
So it's not about where you come from, it's about where you're determined to go.
Exactly. And finally, he addresses the "it's all luck" myth.
Oh, yeah.
He acknowledges that, luck does play a role, but he emphasizes that it's randomly distributed.
Yeah.
Everyone has an equal chance of getting lucky, but the harder you work, the more you increase your chances of being in the right place at the right time.
So it's not about passively waiting for luck to strike. It's about actively creating opportunities for it to find you. This is a powerful shift in perspective, right?
It is. It puts you in the driver's seat. Instead of feeling helpless, you start to see that you have a degree of control over your destiny.
Okay, we've officially busted some major IAS myths. And honestly, I'm feeling pretty inspired already. But now I want to know the specifics. What did Roman actually do to prepare for this beast of an exam?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting and maybe a little surprising.
Okay, hit me with it. What were Roman's daily rituals? Did he lock himself in a library for 12 hours a day?
Not exactly. Remember, he's all about balance and sustainability. He did dedicate 6 hours every day to focused self-study.
6 hours.
But he also made sure to get enough sleep, exercise regularly, and even carve out time for leisure activities.
Wait, he actually scheduled in time to relax for an exam like this.
He did, and it's a crucial part of his strategy. He understood that, to perform at your best, you need to take care of your physical and mental well-being. Burning yourself out would only hinder your progress in the long run.
So it's not about deprivation and self-flagellation. It's about creating a sustainable rhythm that keeps you sharp and motivated. I'm liking this guy more and more.
He also attended every single class without fail. Well, if he was taking classes for a particular subject, that is.
Okay.
He was big on consistency, showing up every day, putting in the work, even when he didn't feel like it.
That's the kind of discipline most of us can only dream of, right?
It's impressive, for sure.
Yeah.
But what's really fascinating is his unique approach to reading.
Okay, I'm all ears. Tell me he has some secret speed reading technique.
It's not about speed, exactly. It's about being incredibly selective with your time and attention.
Okay.
Instead of reading a textbook cover to cover, he'd jump straight to the index.
Wow.
Identify the key topics, and then focus only on the pages related to those topics.
Wait, so he's basically skipping huge chunks of the book.
He is. He's not afraid to ignore what he calls the trash, the less relevant details that don't directly contribute to his understanding of the core concepts.
I've never heard of anyone studying like that. It almost feels like a hack, like he's found a shortcut to absorbing information.
It is a bit unconventional, but it speaks to his focus on efficiency and his understanding of how the brain works.
Yeah.
He's not just passively consuming information, he's actively seeking out the most valuable pieces and focusing his energy on absorbing them deeply.
Okay, that's mind-blowing. So he's selective with his reading, he prioritizes consistency over cramming, and he actually schedules in time to relax. What else?
He's also a huge advocate for taking practice tests. He believed in simulating the exam conditions as often as possible.
Oh, wow.
Forcing himself to retrieve information quickly and accurately under pressure.
So it's not just about absorbing knowledge, it's about training your brain to access that knowledge when it matters most.
Exactly. He even framed it as failing faster to ultimately succeed. By taking those tests regularly, he'd identify his weaknesses early on and adjust his study plan accordingly.
It's a brilliant approach. And it's not just applicable to exams. It's about embracing feedback, learning from mistakes, and continuously refining your process no matter what you're trying to achieve.
Now, are you ready for the really surprising part? His curated book list.
Bring it on. I'm guessing it's not your typical stack of dry textbooks.
You guessed right. Remember how he emphasized the importance of building a strong foundation?
Right.
Well, his recommended reading list starts with something you might not expect. insert textbooks.
Wait, insert textbooks? Aren't those like grade school books?
Yes, the ones from grades 6 through 12, to be precise.
I am officially mind blown. Why on earth would he recommend starting with grade school books?
It's all about mastering the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Those insert textbooks, they provide a clear and comprehensive overview of core subjects.
Yeah.
Without the jargon and complexity you often find in more advanced texts.
Right.
They help you grasp the essential concepts, which is crucial for building a solid understanding of more complex topics later on.
So it's about getting back to basics, strengthening the foundation before you start building the skyscraper.
Exactly. And it's a reminder that sometimes the simplest tools can be the most effective.
Okay, I'm starting to see the method to his madness. What else is on this unconventional book list?
Well, in addition to those foundational insert textbooks, he also recommends specific chapters from 12th grade, biology and chemistry, textbooks.
Science. That makes sense given his background as a doctor.
It does, but it also reflects his understanding of the increasing importance of science and technology in current affairs and policy making.
Yeah.
The IAS exam tests your knowledge across a vast range of issues, and having a solid foundation in science helps you analyze and evaluate those issues more effectively.
So it's not just about being a science whiz, it's about having the scientific literacy to navigate a complex world.
Precisely. He's advocating for a well-rounded education, recognizing that different disciplines can inform and enrich each other.
I like where this is going. Give me more.
Well, this is where we'll have to pause for now.
Oh, man.
But don't worry, we'll be back soon to unpack the rest of Roman's fascinating book list.
Right.
And dive even deeper into his preparation strategies.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat. Stay tuned, folks, because this deep dive is just getting started. Welcome back, deep divers. Last time we were knee-deep in Roman Saini's unconventional approach to prepping for the IAS exam. I'm still reeling from that whole grade school textbooks thing.
It does seem a little counterintuitive, I guess.
Yeah.
But the more we kind of dig into his strategy, the more it makes sense. Remember, he's all about building that, solid foundation before moving on to more complex concepts.
Right. It's like he's saying, don't try to run before you can walk.
Exactly. And those insert textbooks, despite, being for younger students, they actually provide a surprisingly comprehensive overview of these core subjects.
Okay, so we've covered that foundational layer of his book list. What else does he recommend?
He also suggests supplementing those textbooks with a few key resources for staying up to date on current affairs.
Right.
And broadening your understanding of, India's socioeconomic landscape.
Makes sense. You can't exactly ace an exam about current affairs if you're stuck in the past.
Exactly. So he recommends the Hindu newspaper, particularly for its in-depth analysis of current events and government policies.
A Hindu. Classic. I've heard it's a bit dense, though. Is he expecting people to, read the whole thing cover to cover?
Remember, Roman's all about efficiency.
Right.
He probably suggests focusing on specific sections,
right.
The ones that align with the IAS syllabus, like political developments, economic trends, social issues, that kind of thing.
Smart. So it's not about passively consuming every single article. It's about actively seeking out the most relevant information.
Precisely. And to get a deeper understanding of India's socioeconomic challenges and government initiatives, he recommends Yoshana magazine.
Okay, Yoshana.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like a policy wonk's dream journal?
You could say that. It dives into a wide range of topics related to India's development.
Oh, wow.
From, poverty alleviation to rural infrastructure to environmental sustainability.
Sounds like a must-read for anyone who wants to, make a real difference in India.
And here's the coolest part. Roman also recommends his own YouTube channel, An Academy.
Wait, he has his own YouTube channel?
He does.
Talk about practicing what you preach.
Exactly. He created An Academy to provide, free educational resources for aspiring IAS officers, making quality learning accessible to everyone, regardless of their background or financial situation.
That's amazing. It really speaks volumes about his commitment to, democratizing education and empowering others to pursue their dreams.
Absolutely. Now let's move beyond those general resources and dive into Roman's recommendations for tackling specific subjects covered in the IAS exam. Are you ready for a whirlwind tour of his syllabus-specific book list?
Hit me with it. I'm ready to absorb some of that Roman Saini wisdom.
Okay, so for Indian polity, he recommends Laxmikant's book, which is considered, the Bible, for IAS aspirants.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like the guide to understanding India's political system.
Exactly. It covers everything from, the Indian constitution to the structure of the government to the powers and functions of different institutions. It's basically your one-stop shop for all things Indian polity.
Sounds comprehensive. What about history? Any recommendations there?
He suggests Spectrum's A Brief History of Modern India.
A brief history?
Yeah.
I hope that's not false advertising, given the sheer span of Indian history.
Don't worry, it's still pretty thorough. It focuses on, the key events, the personalities, and movements that really shaped modern India, from the Mughal era to the present day.
So it's not just about memorizing a bunch of dates and names. It's about understanding the forces that shaped India's past and continue to influence its present.
Precisely. And for economics, Roman recommends kind of a multi-pronged approach, drawing from several different resources.
Okay, I'm sensing a theme here. Roman's not afraid to mix and match, is he?
He's all about finding what works best, even if it means, deviating from the traditional path. So for economics, he suggests Sanjeev Verma's Indian economy, which provides a solid grounding in economic theory.
Got it. So that's your foundation. What else?
Then he recommends supplementing that with resources from mrunal.org, it's a website known for its, clear and concise explanations of economic concepts, particularly those relevant to the IAS exam.
Okay, so that helps you apply the theory to the specific context of the exam?
Exactly. And then he throws in the Sri Ram Economy Manual, which is known for its comprehensive coverage of the Indian economy.
So it's like getting a 360-degree view of economics.
Yeah.
The theory, the application, and the in-depth analysis of the Indian context.
You got it. And to stay up to date on, the latest economic developments and government policies, he recommends reading the Economic Survey.
Whoa, that's a lot of economics. I'm starting to see why people think you need to dedicate your entire life to prepping for this exam.
It is a lot to digest.
Yeah.
But remember, Roman's all about strategic studying. He wouldn't recommend these resources unless he believed, they were truly valuable.
Yeah.
And worth the time investment.
Okay, fair enough. What about art and culture? That's a subject that I feel like often trips up IAS aspirants.
Interestingly, Roman doesn't recommend a specific book for art and culture.
Oh?
Instead, he suggests focusing on the NCERT textbooks for a basic understanding, exploring the CCRT website, it's a treasure trove of information on Indian art and heritage.
Okay.
And checking out his own videos on Unacademy, where he covers key concepts and provides, insightful analysis.
So it's about immersing yourself in the richness of Indian culture through various mediums, not just cramming facts from a single textbook.
Exactly. It's about cultivating a genuine appreciation for art and culture, which will not only help you in the exam, but also enrich your life in countless ways.
I love that. What about science and technology? Any surprises there?
He sticks with his trusty NCERT textbooks as a foundation for science and technology. But he also recommends staying updated on current developments through the Thursday edition of The Hindu, which has a dedicated science and technology section. He also suggests checking out resources from mrunal.org, which likely provide, additional context and analysis of scientific advancements relevant to the IAS exam.
So it's about combining a strong conceptual foundation with an awareness of, the latest breakthroughs and their potential impact on society. Makes sense. What about geography?
For geography, he recommends G.C. Lang's book, Certificate Physical and Human Geography, well, at least part one of it, which covers the fundamentals of physical geography.
I remember that one from my school days. It had all those fascinating maps and diagrams.
Exactly. It's a classic for a reason. It helps you understand the Earth's physical processes, from climate patterns to land formations to natural resources. And that understanding is crucial for tackling a wide range of issues relevant to the IAS exam, from environmental challenges to infrastructure development to geopolitical dynamics.
So it's about seeing the big picture, understanding how geography shapes our world.
Yeah.
And influences the course of human events.
Precisely. And for environment and ecology, a subject of, growing importance in today's world.
Yeah.
He recommends a multifaceted approach. He suggests starting with Shankar ISS's book for a comprehensive overview of key concepts.
Okay, so that's your go-to guide for environmental issues.
Right. And then to solidify your understanding of ecological principles, he recommends revisiting the NSERT textbook.
Talk to those.
And to stay up to date on, current environmental challenges and policy debates, he suggests checking out resources from mrunal.org and, of course, his own videos on Unacademy.
So it's about understanding both the science and the policy implications of environmental issues.
Exactly. It's about being an informed citizen who can analyze environmental policies, understand their potential impact, and contribute to meaningful solutions.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground here. Roman's book list is like a treasure map, leading to a deeper understanding of the world. It's got everything from grade school textbooks to specialized manuals to online resources.
It's a testament to his belief in drawing from, a variety of sources, exploring different perspectives, and ultimately finding what works best for you as a learner.
It's like you're saying, don't be afraid to break the mold and create your own path to knowledge.
Exactly. Now, before we move on to the next stage of Roman's preparation journey, we need to address the elephant in the room, the optional subject. The IAS exam allows you to choose an optional subject, which can significantly impact your overall score. So what's Roman's take on choosing the right optional?
I'm all ears. I'm guessing he's got some unconventional wisdom to share here, too.
You bet. He chose medical science as his optional.
Okay.
Which makes sense given his background. But he emphasizes that the best optional subject for you is the one you're genuinely interested in.
Okay.
And feel most comfortable with.
So passion over perceived strategic advantage.
Exactly. He argues that, genuine interest leads to deeper engagement, better retention, and ultimately a higher score. He cautions against choosing an optional solely based on its, perceived scoring potential.
Yeah.
Or popularity among other aspirants.
It's a refreshing perspective because we often get caught up in what we think we should do instead of what genuinely excites us.
Exactly. And it's a reminder that, true success often stems from aligning our pursuits with our passions.
Okay, so we've explored Roman's book recommendations and his thoughts on choosing an optional subject. What's next on our deep dive agenda?
Let's shift our focus to the essay paper and the interview stage, both of which are, crucial components of the IAS exam and often leave aspirants feeling intimidated.
Oh, yeah.
Roman has some valuable insights on how to approach these challenging aspects.
Okay, I'm ready to tackle those. But before we dive in, let's take a moment to kind of reflect on what we've learned so far. Roman's approach to learning is incredibly inspiring. It's all about, building a solid foundation, staying curious, and seeking out knowledge from a variety of sources.
And it's about finding what works best for you as a learner. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to success.
Exactly.
Okay.
We'll be back soon to explore the final stages of Roman's preparation journey.
Yes.
And uncover his secrets to acing the essay paper and the interview. Stay tuned, deep divers.
Welcome back, deep divers. We're wrapping up our deep dive into Roman Saini's incredible journey to cracking the IAS exam.
We've uncovered his unique study strategies, his kind of surprising book list, and his advice on choosing the right optional subject.
Right. And now we're tackling the final hurdles, the essay paper and the interview stage, those make or break moments that can determine your fate in the IAS exam. Yeah, these are the stages where you can really set yourself apart, from the crowd, demonstrating not only your knowledge, but also your critical thinking skills, your communication abilities, and your overall personality.
Okay, so let's start with the essay. I'm imagining a room full of stressed out IAS aspirants, furiously scribbling away on some complex topic. What does Roman have to say about tackling this beast?
Well, he emphasizes the importance of preparation and practice, of course. He specifically recommends Lexicon by Chronicle Publication for brushing up on ethics, a key element in the essay portion.
Ethics, that makes sense. You'd want to demonstrate a strong moral compass and a commitment to serving the public good.
Exactly. And Lexicon likely provides a framework for thinking about, ethical dilemmas and applying ethical principles to real-world scenarios, which is crucial for crafting a compelling and well-reasoned essay. Roman also emphasizes the importance of practicing case studies, which, helps you develop the analytical skills needed to dissect complex situations and propose ethical solutions.
So it's not just about, knowing right from wrong. It's about being able to apply those principles to messy real-life situations.
Precisely. And he also offers a really interesting piece of advice about finding the right kind of balance in your essay writing.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What kind of balance are we talking about?
He warns against taking an overly idealistic stance.
Oh, really?
While it's important to demonstrate integrity and a zero tolerance approach to corruption, sounding too idealistic can actually kind of work against you.
Really? Why is that? Wouldn't the examiners be impressed by someone with, unwavering moral principles?
They would, but the IAS is ultimately about practical problem solving in complex real world situations. Being overly idealistic can make you seem naive or out of touch with the realities on the ground.
I see. So it's about being both principled and pragmatic.
Exactly. It's about demonstrating a nuanced understanding of the challenges involved in translating those lofty ideals into actionable solutions.
So it's not about compromising your values. It's about acknowledging the complexities of the real world and proposing solutions that are both ethical and feasible.
Precisely. Now let's move on to the interview stage, which can be even more nerve-wracking than the essay. You're facing a panel of experienced examiners, and they're not just assessing your knowledge, they're also evaluating your personality, your communication skills, and your overall suitability for a career in the civil services.
Okay, I'm already sweating just thinking about it. Any advice from Roman on how to navigate this high-pressure situation?
He recommends a book by Madhukar Bhagat titled How to Prepare for Civil Services. This book likely provides valuable insights into the types of questions asked, strategies for effectively communicating your knowledge and experiences, and tips for projecting confidence and composure.
So it's about being prepared, even though you can't predict exactly what they'll ask you.
Right. Exactly. While there's always an element of unpredictability in an interview, you can still do a lot to prepare yourself mentally and strategically. You can research common interview questions, practice your responses out loud, and reflect on your experiences to identify compelling stories that showcase your strengths and personality.
It's about being the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
Both in terms of your knowledge and your character.
Precisely, it's about demonstrating that you have the intellect, the integrity, and the interpersonal skills to excel in a demanding and multifaceted role.
So Roman's approach to the essay and the interview aligns with his overall strategy. It's about preparation, balance, and a nuanced understanding of the challenges and opportunities that come with a career in the civil services.
Exactly. And it's a reminder that success in any field, especially one as demanding as the IAS, requires a combination of hard work, strategic planning, and a willingness to continuously learn and grow.
Yeah. And let's not forget, he achieved all of this at the age of 22. It's enough to make you question your own life choices, right?
It is remarkable, but his story isn't meant to intimidate us. It's meant to inspire us. Roman's journey shows that achieving seemingly impossible goals is possible with the right mindset, strategies, and an unwavering determination.
He's like a walking, talking testament to the power of human potential.
He is, and his willingness to share his insights so openly shows that he's not just interested in personal success. He's passionate about empowering others to reach their full potential as well.
What a powerful legacy.
Mm-hmm.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of Roman Saini, what's the one key takeaway you hope our listeners will carry with them?
I think for me, it's the idea that success isn't just about, innate talent or a stroke of luck. It's about cultivating a growth mindset, embracing, challenges as opportunities for learning, and putting in the consistent effort required to achieve your goals.
Mm-hmm. Beautifully said. And if there's one thing Roman's story has taught me, it's that even the most, audacious dreams can become a reality if you approach them with the right blend of preparation, passion, and perseverance.
Absolutely. So dear listeners, as you embark on your own journeys, remember Roman's advice, find your why, embrace challenges, and never underestimate the power of consistent effort.
Who knows? Maybe one day we'll be doing a deep dive into your incredible success story. Until then, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.